waste no time. Let's get into it. Christian Watson. All right. I said one question has been answered for the Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson is a superstar. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? Going into this year, we had questions about Christian Watson, obviously coming off the ACL. One, how quick will he return? He returned a lot quicker than I think most people expected him to. Two, will he be the same player? He did not return as the same player. He returned as a player that's even better than he was before he got hurt. You're talking about a guy who has, in my opinion, increased his ability to catch the football, right? He's improved that. He's improved his route running, believe it or not. I thought that would take a step back because, he's kind of limited on what routes he could work on in the offseason. But the other thing that we were looking at is, will he have an even better grab of the offense, which I think we would all agree he does. You never see him and Jordan Love not being on the same page. You never see him running the wrong route. And what you've got is a locker room guy, a true leader, a guy who understands the offense better than anybody in the offense. Some would say they think Romeo Doubs understands the offense better. I don't believe that. And the reason being is Romeo Doubs plays that boundary X position the majority of the time. Christian Watson has moved around. He's played the Z, the field side outside receiver, right? When we say field side, we're obviously opposite of the boundary being the short side of the field, meaning the ball's on the left hash. Field side would be the right side of the field. Christian Watson playing the large part of the field, right? So he'll play that outside receiver, the number one on that side of the field. Now, we've also seen him play the F. He played the F receiver or the moving slot receiver, the move guy in Matt LaFleur's offense his rookie year, the majority of the time. So now he stepped into the Z side. He'll also play X. We've seen him play the X, whether it's the boundary or just the on the line of scrimmage wide receiver opposite the tight end side, right? Opposite the Z. So he plays all three positions for the Matt LaFleur offense. We've also seen him be the jet sweep guy, right? His rookie year. They've gotten away from that. I'm glad they did. He'll also line up in the wing, meaning he'll be the Z. They'll pre-snap motion him over. He'll line up between the tackle and the tight end, kind of semi in the backfield, what we call the wing, right? And he'll have that C gap exit when he's running a route. He'll also get in there, do the dirty work, dig out a linebacker, dig out a safety in the run blocking scheme. So to me, he has the best understanding of this offense, and the fact that he was kind of hemmed up for a little bit, rehabbing from the ACL, you can tell he's put in extra time to understand the offense at a different level. You could tell he's put in the extra time on the jugs machine. I expected, again, like I said, him to take a step back in the route running. That has not happened. He's gotten even better as a route runner. So here's just some key statistics that I threw out there for the analytics crew. And then we got one play that will show that touchdown down the seam there against the Baltimore Ravens. But he is third in the National Football League in yards per reception at 17.5. Now, that's a slight decrease from last year where he was over the 20-yard mark. He's still third best in the league. Alec Pierce led last year. He's leading this year in terms of yards per reception. So, again, he's that deep threat, but he's also a guy that can catch the ball underneath and take it to the house, right, with Yak. 17.5 yards per reception is what Christian Watson is averaging. That's third best in the league. He's fourth in catch rate over expected, guys. That's a huge statistic, 11.4%. So, again, fourth in catch rate over expected for Christian Watson. He's fifth in PFF receiving grade at 88.5. So, again, we love to cross-check everything. We use PFF on this show. I know some people hate PFF. We use it, and we cross-check it with NFL Pro data, and we cross-check it with the tape. That way you get three different angles on whether a player is good or not. All three check the boxes. These statistics we're laying out for you guys, those come from NFL Pro and Next Gen Stats, right? The fifth best PFF receiving grade amongst wide receivers in the entire National Football League at 88.5. That's the PFF angle, right? And then, of course, we've got the tape here. Let's show a quick clip of this play on tape here against the Baltimore Ravens. As you can see, they came out in 12 personnel. You see the two tight ends, strong left, right? Got 81 and 88. Musgrave obviously out here off to the left. Ball snapped, and what you're going to know is Christian Watson attacking the seam. So you go with somewhat of a nasty split. Your tight end's on the left side there. It kind of looks like there's a receiver that comes into the picture at the end on the left. So that tells me that was a tray left look with the shallow underneath right here, right? And then look at Watson. Look at Malik Willis kind of throwing him open. This is an easy throw, too. I've seen people go, oh, what a dot. It was a great throw. But, guys, there's not a quarterback in the league that can't throw that seam ball right there, right? That's a good throw, but every quarterback in the league can throw that ball. But look at Watson going over the middle, great hands catch, and having the awareness to know that they're in a split safety look there, right? that, hey, look, when you catch this ball, you got to get north and south quick. Now, Malik does a good job looking the safety off to the left. You see the backer flip his hips and go with the 2 or the 3 in this case, 81, and he's clearing that out. And, of course, watch Watson. He knows, all right, split safety, let's get upfield quick, touchdown. And, again, taking the lick there at the end, going and doing a Lambeau leap. Christian Watson is that dude. He is that dude. That's a seam ball, right? We've seen him work out routes. I could pull a half a dozen clips of him working out routes and comeback routes along the sideline. We could show you on the climb routes. You know, the touchdown, one of the 2 touchdowns he scored against Chicago the week before was a climb route or a crosser, right? He can run the deep dig. He can run everything on the route tree. This is the guy, all right? Another statistic, he's first in deep target rate. So when it comes to targeting receivers, 20 yards or more down the field, qualified receivers only, he leads the league in deep target rate at 32.7%. I know that's a bad look on the Matt LaFleur hater crowd that says that Matt LaFleur isn't aggressive enough. Guys, Christian Watson is leading the league in deep target rate. So he's that dude that's consistently stretching the field and us targeting him at 20 yards or more, okay? Leads the league in that. He's second in air yards per target at 17.6. What is that? That's a next-gen stats. Obviously, there at 17.6%, or I'm sorry, 17.6 air yards per target, meaning every time that he gets targeted on a passing play, the ball is 17.6 yards. The ball is in the air that long, okay? So, again, that's second best in the league. And then, of course, tight window targets, 40% of the time he's being targeted in a tight window. Now, some would say, well, he's not creating enough separation. Others would look at that and go, okay, he's having all this. He's 4th in catch rate over expected while being 2nd in tight window targets. That's the avenue my mind goes down, right? Is going, wow, this dude's having a lot of success, and these are tight window throws. Again, it's another tip of the cap to Jordan Love and his ability to be able to fit that ball in the tight window consistently, which he's done all year long. One of the more accurate quarterbacks across the league. He's tied for first in the National Football League in EPA per dropback. His completion percentage is at right at 67%. Again, I always run that median line, if you will, that comparison. It really ain't a median line. It's a first ballot Hall of Famer line. Aaron Rodgers' career completion percentage being at 65%. Jordan Love this year is currently 1%, almost 2% higher than Aaron Rodgers' career completion percentage. Okay, so again, tight window throws from Jordan, and they trust Christian Watson to make those tight window catches as well. So again, third in yards per reception, 4th in catch rate over expected, 5th in PFF receiving grade, 1st in deep target rate, 2nd in air yards per target, and 2nd in tight window targets. You can see he is in the top 10. Really the top 5 in all those categories. And when you break it down, if you were, okay, where's he rank receiving yards wise, you can't really compare that because he missed a good portion of the year, obviously being out with injury, right? So Christian Watson's that dude. Let's talk contract for a second here, okay? Let's talk about where he ranks in terms of, not ranks, but what's his contract look like? Immediately people go, man, we got to re-sign him. We got to re-sign him. You ain't got to re-sign him yet. And that's great news. According to Spot Track here, just to kind of check on this, this is what his current contract looks like. Okay, he's under contract this year, obviously, with a $3.3 million cap hit. Is that money well spent or what? I mean, that's just unbelievable, right? Next year, he's under contract as well, $6.9 million cap hit. Now, what did we do? What they did was they gave him that mini extension. They gave him some guaranteed money, right? Some signing bonus to make it worth his while to re-sign and kind of a prove it deal. And what they did was they tacked on 3 voidable years. Okay. So in 2027, they tacked on a voidable year, 28 and 29. Now, what does that mean? They were able to take 3.6 million of that signing bonus. Okay. And they were able to spread that out over those voidable years, that portion of it. So it's 1.2 million signing proration in 2027, 1.2 in 2028, and 1.2 in 2029. Now, what does that mean for dead cap? If you were to move on from Christian Watson next year, after the 2026 season, that 3.6 million in dead cap would accelerate to the 2027 salary cap hit. Okay, again, pennies on the dollar, but we want him back. To me, the decision has been made now. Christian Watson is that dude. He needs to be the wide receiver moving forward for the Green Bay Packers. You want to get a deal done as soon as possible. Now, keep in mind, when he signed that deal, you got to wait 1 calendar year before you can re-sign him. Okay. So that is something. I don't think it's got the actual date on when that contract was signed. I just want to double check here real quick. That's the contract. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So they don't have the date listed, but nonetheless, 1 year, 1 calendar year from the date that deal was signed, that's when you can sign him to another extension. Now, here's what I think the plan is. I don't think this is a coincidence. Notice the 3 voidable years, 27, 28, and 29, right? I think they're looking to, okay, if he proves it and he does, all right, awesome. Then you want to sign him to a 3-year extension. The skeleton for the deal is already in place by Russ Ball. So what you're going to look to do is sign him and then spread out the guaranteed money on a 3-year deal. So you would give him a 3-year extension and then spread out that signing bonus over those 3 years as well and try to make it as even of a cap hit as possible. You can always push that back up if you need to, if you got some extra cap space. All right, we want to absorb that hit this year. You know how this works. 3-year deals are typically a 2-year deal for the Green Bay Packers. So if they re-sign him to a 3-year deal starting in 27, 28, and 29, what you'll probably see is in 2029, the dead cap will drop lower than the cap hit. Therefore, you can free up cap space if you move on from him in 2029. So it'd be a 3-year deal that's really a 2-year deal. He's 28. Right now, he's 26 years old. Next year, he'll be 27. So the first year of that 3-year deal, he'll be 28. The second year of that 3-year deal, he'll be 29. And then if you decide to move on from him in 2029, that's the year he turns 30, that age we always talk about where guys start to kind of go downhill. Some players don't. Most players do, right? So I think that's the game plan that's in place for the future of Christian Watson with the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to look to try to sign him to a 3-year deal. Now, he may buck. He may buck and go, all right, listen, boys, I took the 1-year prove-it deal. You're going to have to break the bank to me. That's a possibility. Will the Packers pay that? I think they will. Why do I think that? There's precedent for that, okay? There's always been precedent for signing at least one wide receiver to big money, right? It was Jordy Nelson. Well, let's go back. It was Greg Jennings had a good little deal, right? And then they drafted Jordy Nelson. And then when they decided to move on from Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson kind of got the bag, right? And they overlapped a little bit, but for the most part, one receiver making a bunch of money. And then when you moved on from Jordy Nelson, who ended up getting the bag? Devontae Adams, right? So now since you've moved on from Devontae Adams, you haven't had that big deal wide receiver yet. I think that's going to be Christian Watson if he stays healthy, right? If he stays healthy. So I think that's probably their approach moving forward when it comes to Christian Watson and what they plan on doing with him here in the future. Okay. So if you guys are watching this video back, let me know in the comments. How do you feel about Christian Watson? Do you think he is the guy? Do you think that's the dude we're going to move with moving forward? Right. We're going to sign him to that 3 to 4 year extension. He may demand a 4-year extension. I'm okay with that. You can structure it in a way where you give him enough guaranteed money where you can make it a 4-year deal. That's really a 2-year deal. Now we've seen Goody this year give 4-year deals that were really a 1-year deal, right? Aaron Banks. If you wanted to move on from Aaron Banks, you could do that this year. So it's just something to kind of keep your eye on. Let us know in the comments what you think, and let us know how you feel about Christian Watson being the guy. Are you okay with signing him to a top 5, top 10 wide receiver money on a 3 to 4-year deal? I know I am, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know when we go live in the future. Now,